Auto Club Speedway. For over 25 years, over a quarter of a century, Fontana, California's high-speed circuit played host to one of, if not, of course, several dozen iconic motorsport events, largely all throughout stock car racing. In remembrance of the final days of the Auto Club Speedway, tonight, the Integrity Ignite Series heads to the circuit for 110 laps of full-throttle racing. High speeds, higher attrition, and a field of 45 drivers have registered for tonight's event, with qualifying on the way for the first time this season in California. Welcoming you all to tonight's presentation. I'll be your commentator and producer throughout all of the festivities. I'm David Kreutz, and here on FTN, we return to Auto Club for the first time this week, and with the Integrity Ignite Series back in full swing, the championship race already one to watch. We saw Cody Griffin come through with a victory last week at Daytona in a thrilling last lap turn of events, and tonight, with qualifying on the move, drivers are getting prepared for the rest of the racing session. 110 laps here, or 220 miles, of course, whichever way you count it. And while it's not going to be as long of a race as Daytona, 30 miles shorter, we do expect to see a lot of strategy calls made in a similar vein. It's going to be a big-time pack racing. The draft will not be as important, but it's going to be a mix of individual element and a communication factor that's going to take us from start to finish tonight as we all get going and qualify. Justin Tromley going to be at the top of the board. Thomas Bressi right now going to be scored in third. Tim Rogers is going to be fourth, and Chuck Sweeting is in fifth. And only for Alan Dobbs to make it right by the top of him. There's still big movement here in the session as Justin Tromley takes it to provisional pole in his number 34. Tromley going to be on top right now by 33 thousandths of a second. Then you go back to Thomas Bressi, who's still driving right now in the number 24 as he makes it across the line. This is his final lap of the session, and he's going to come down to the apron, goes all the way in, and Bressi not going to be able to improve on that one, it appears. He's going to stay in third. Still close, but not enough. Nick Tarbuck is going to be scored in fourth. Sebastian Miller is going to be in seventh, and he's going to drop down to the inside of the track as John Borst in the number 86 rounds out the top 10, only to be beat by DJ Stagner. Stagner jumps up into second, and a lot of big moves are being made so far. The qualifying lineup is still all provisional. There's still drivers on the track such as Brandon Kirkman. He's going to end his run. Cody Griffin, your defending winner, gets back on the way. And as it stands, he's coming around this time by. Looks like he's going to touch the grass just slightly. But all appears to be well for the driver of the 03. He jumps up to sixth just like that. Braxton Uis is going to get off of the racing circuit himself. Stephen Wetton is still going to be on the way. And right now, Wetton finds himself in 34th. So a ways to go for him to improve, but I feel like he's definitely going to do so as he comes across the line this time by. Wetton is going to jump up from 34th on the charts, and he's going to make the move to 31st. Still going to be a jump, but nothing major, as Blake Gordon is also on the way in the number 19 Tide Ride. Now it's going to be Gordon taking to the track, one of the many drivers with speed at Daytona, looking for a bit of a redemption night here. So with Gordon making it out of turn 4, we'll see where he can jump up on his second and final qualifying lap. He's currently scored in 36th, and it looks like he's going to jump up from that 36th spot all the way to fourth. Gonna make it top 5 in qualifying for Blake Gordon, at least for the time being. Brandon Bernhardt also gonna be on the way, but it looks like his run is already over. Nicholas Cohan in number 41 will barrel down the back straightaway. And as he comes down and in, the AutoZone 41 looking ready to get to the start-finish line, but not enough time. Cohan will not be able to get a lap, and Justin Tromley will sit at the top of the qualifying board here in Fontana. Qualifying concluded, our lineup is set. 45 drivers have taken to the track tonight for practice and or qualifying, and now Time to get to know who's who as the session has been filled. At the top of the board for tonight's event, the pole position for your Fontana 220, Justin Trombley with the pole position, 40.334, just over 17 thousandths of a second ahead relative to DJ Stagner in the 64. Stagner, who ran oh so well at Daytona, looking for a chance to get through with a victory. He'll be starting runner-up, and it's going to be Rob Ackley, quick at these big tracks, third with a 40.367. Blake Gordon is going to be in the fourth position, 43.94 for the man in the number 19, and the tide ride just ahead of the Exalta Chevrolet, 40.4 flat for Thomas Bresci. He will start in fifth tonight, and he's having the number 29 of Nick Tarbuck right beside him, scored then in sixth. Defending winner who won at Daytona, it's Cody Griffin, starting in seventh on the inside row, 40.42, and beside him is Tim Rogers, 48, and Rogers, 40.425 in the number 48 machine. Chuck Sweeting is going to be ninth, and to round out the top 10, it's Justin Morton in the number 9. Then from there, Sebastian Miller will be in the 11th spot, with Alan Dobbs in 12th, Ryan Potter in 13th, and John Borst in the 13th position, as Carter Casey concludes the top 15 with a 40.504. Brad Wren is going to be 16th with a 40.506, and the gap between those in the 8th row is only 2 thousandths of a second. Gael Brooks is going to be in 17th with a 40.515, and Chad Mikus, who got through with a pole position and a podium at Daytona, starting 18th tonight, he'll be there with a 40.524. Cody Smith is going to be in the 19th position, and it'll be Adam Wood who rounds out the top 10. Going to be the top 20 immediately thereafter. Look past these first 20 and you'll see Johnston in 21st, Braxton Lewis in 22nd, Cody Erdman in 23rd, and Vinny Tigner then in 24th. Boomer Logan's going to be 25th, and 26th is Brian McFerrin, with Kyle Cooper in 27th, Don Stevenson 28th, Forrest Smith 29th, and Brandon Kirkman concluding the top 20 with a 40.607. 31st, Travis McQuistion, Todd Thomas is 32nd, with Don Runkle 33rd, Stephen Owett in 34th, Neil Froelich in 35th, and Alan Rawell, position number 36, the final driver to take a time. Then from there, Matthew Thunhorst is going to be 37th, with Jacob Fife 38th, Trevor Trago 39th, and Brad Patton in 40th. And to round out the field, Nicholas Cohan 41st, J.A. Schmidt in 32nd. He drops down 10 spots further due to recalculation. He goes to 42nd. John Pillion is 43rd, Shane Ewing is 44th, Brandon Bernhardt is 45th, and to round out the field entirely, at the end of row 23, Chris Gabot, 46th in the field, and another grand scale here in Fontana. We've got over 45 drivers, and once more, it's going to be a field of abundance tonight, and we'll see how that all plays out as the race goes on, expecting, of course, to see quite a lot of drivers take the green flag, and given how clean Daytona was relative to the field size, we're going to hopefully get some great racing. As it stands, 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining on your warm-up charts. Second practice is on the move right now, and drivers are getting ready once again. As it stands, you're going to see Jacob Fife taking to the track. He is 1 of 17 with the time right now. Brad Patton, the leading man in this session, now going to be there in the 07, and he's right now on pit road. Doesn't look like he's going to get back on the circuit. Some final adjustments for Patton in that very short stint. Jacob Fife is going to be practicing his pit road entry here, expecting to see some green flag runs once again. So Fife going to get himself prepared and drop in. Same goes for Blake Gordon, who right now is 4th in the charts in this session, and he's got a top 5 qualifying spot locked in as well. Timothy Johnston on pit road, he's 17th of those who have taken a time. Shane Ewing is in 15th right now, and looks to be backing it down slowly but surely to the apron. Trevor Trago in the number 37, representing the Wanted Goons, is going to make it across the start-finish line once again. And at the line for Trevor Trago, it's going to be 14th. It looks like going no better for the rest of this stint. Travis McQuistion on pit road, he is in 13th right now. It'll be Justin Trombley, scored in the 12th spot. Thomas Bresci in 11th, who's still out for the taking, but Brad Patton is the fastest man in second practice, and on pit road, the 07 lies as the field awaits the green flag less than 5 minutes away. Warm-up has concluded, and it's time to get things going from the Auto Club Speedway for 110 laps. As the field depopulates one final time, Fontana, California, thankfully able to come back with the sounds of stock car racing and the sights of stock car racing in the virtual space. This laser-scanned replica of the Auto Club Speedway preserves each and every detail that made racing at this California circuit just as exciting and memorable as it was in the real world. And unfortunately, many of the fans now know that the Auto Club Speedway no longer exists in this state. The 2-mile circuit, which was first put into place around 1997, has been largely demolished without much noise. Now, the plans are stated to bring the circuit back as a short track. However, the odds of that slim, and many are skeptical of the return of this once beloved track. Unfortunately, Auto Club Speedway no longer exists, the 2-mile high-speed track and the Michigan of the West, some would say. However, it's going to come alive tonight, and we will, of course, have a perfect opportunity to highlight the intricacies, unique features that made Auto Club such an iconic track with the fans for over 25 years. Justin Trombley, DJ Stagner, among the memory of Auto Club Speedway. It's a race in memoriam of what was and a celebration of what we have. Oftentimes these tracks go out with fanfare, but in the case of Auto Club, it's still up in the air whether or not this track ever comes back to life. We know that the banks and the curves and the high speeds will most likely never be seen, but this entire venue is in jeopardy. And tonight, even if it cannot be preserved in the real form, it's a special reminder of what we have continually on iRacing and what we remember and recall from the real racing realm as California Speedway, otherwise known as the Auto Club Speedway, is effectively put to rest. 110 laps tonight, 220 miles, no limits, no restrictions, and it's time for these drivers to put one hell of a show on. Trombley, with the honor to be at the front of the field, he's got a chance to make big gains to the rookie in the point standings. Your inaugural champion, DJ Stagner, up top, and 46 drivers taking to the green flag are set to bring excitement from top to bottom. iRacing official pace car will drop in this time by, and the field will be in the hands of Justin Trombley's Ford Mustang. Through the restart zone they go. Barney the flagman waves the green flag, and we're underway in Fontana. Welcome to Auto Club in 2024. We're underway in California. DJ Stagner with the lead at a lap 1. Justin Trombley keeping him honest, and the battle for the lead has already begun up in front. Taking a look off the back bumper of Stagner, and you'll see how close it is already. These drivers have come to fight each other tooth and nail all night long. Not just with the leaders, of course. Take a look further back and you'll see how close it is all throughout the field. This pack is playing no games tonight, and we expect to see more of the same as the race progresses. 2x2 here. You'll see 3 wide with Chad Mikus, Brad Wren, and Vinny Tigner. Cody Erdman going to be right there as well, and a few of the Codys in the mix. You see Cody Griffin in frame. Cody Smith is too, and at the line it's going to be very close, and down the front straightaway, you can go as low as possible, down to the apron, up to the wall. There's about 5 or 6 good lanes of track, especially down that front stretch, so don't be afraid if you're a driver to use them. I think right now they just got to find their room and start to course, figure out what's the proper way to go about the rest of this race. Early in the going, it looks like it's going to be DJ Stagner up ahead. He's got Blake Gordon right behind, and the top two are beginning to pull just a bit away, but nothing too crazy in the opening stages of this event. Look further back, and you'll see Blake Gordon is going to be right there with them, side by side at the line. There's also Rob Ackley running in third. Further on back, you'll see Bressie, Trombley, Nick Tarbuck, and now Cody Griffin up there into seventh, with Chuck Sweeting chasing. The front runner is getting away nicely so far, and it looks like no big troubles, as you're going to see on board with the number 3 machine here, that it's Cody Griffin looking to now keep it side by side with Nick Tarbuck. They look to be neck and neck down the back straightaway, but that high side pulling a bit more momentum, and it's going to help. Going to give that way to Nick Tarbuck, as he's going to once again take a spot. That's going to move Nick up into 6th, and from there on out, you look further back, there's also going to be Ryan Potter, Alan Dobbs, Cody Smith fighting around the top 20 realm. The man who finished 2nd in last week's event, Braxton Deweese, he currently runs in just about 18th. He has nobody else around him, so it looks to be a solid position for the time being. Now going to try to find out what he can do with Timothy Johnston. Chad Mikus and Vinny Tigner continue to battle. The number 12 Menards machine going to be working off of the back straightaway once more. Chad Mikus still just ahead as he tries to keep Cody Erdman at bay. Erdman's going to look down to the bottom side once more. He's going to try to take that room. Looks like there's a chance to do so then and there, but the fight is certainly not over. You see Boomer Logan now running at about 25th. He's got Brad Wren right there with him, and tonight, 25th is firmly in the middle of the field, given how far back you have to go to see drivers such as Nicholas Cohon, Alan Rawell, Don Runkle, and all these drivers back here are still quick, but it's going to take an awful lot to get up in front if you're back here, with the track position being a major disadvantage. That time by, your race leader ran a 41.075. The driver in 33rd, Shane Ewing, ran a lap faster, a 41.029. So it's not a matter of speed in the pack right now that separated these drivers. It all came down to qualifying, and that was the biggest of differences, because we got drivers who are further back in about the mid-30s that are still keeping up with your leaders. Goes to show how good the entire field is right now, as it looks like tire degradation slowly coming into play. Blake Gordon takes the lead early, and he's now going to try to run away with it here. We'll see how much further he can go, as DJ Stagner now runs in 2nd. It'll be now Rob Ackley slowly catching up as well. Thomas Bressie going to be 4th, with Nick Tarbuck there in 5th. And in the early going so far, a few drivers beginning to break away. We see that double file battle between Griffin and Nick Tarbuck, but otherwise it's remained largely calm, mostly an early procession where drivers get to grips with their equipment. And that's a good thing, of course, because we're keeping it very clean in the early stages of this race. I think it's all going to come down to the stopping strategy. The pit stops, those are, of course, the focal points of any strategy in this series. And given that we have 110 laps on the table, I'm once again going to be predicting about a 40-lap window for each and every pit cycle. Adam Wood up in the wall there, the number 45. It looks like it's going to be Trago who drops down to avoid him. Nobody makes contact with the 45. Everyone looks to be just fine as they'll skirt right by. You'll see Kyle Cooper and company making it through. Also going to be in the mix at number 38. There's Brandon Kirkman, Todd Thomas, and as all these drivers making out of a little scuffle, no big contact, and that's a very good thing to see. Going back to the strategy though, if we have about 40 laps for the taking, it's all going to come down to whether or not these drivers can weather the storm for this early run and try to make or break it with the first pit stop. Because if we stay green for most of the night, that first pit stop is a huge defining factor in how a driver will perform for the rest of the day. If you get away from the field in that early pit cycle, you can have a huge advantage and lock yourself up a top 20, a top 15, or maybe even a top 10, but if you have troubles such as maybe an incident going in, a wreck perhaps, it's gonna set you back drastically, and that could be the end of your night then and there. With 46 drivers that registered for the session, it looks like 45 took the green. You cannot afford to put yourself any further back in the top 20 in a very competitive series that has more and more drivers than ever seen before in this series' existence. Right now, the battle for lead is about as competitive as it gets. DJ Stagner going to remain on the bottom side. You'll see him there working down low. Blake Gordon going to be up top. He's got the race lead. Took it from Stagner about 5 laps ago, but it's still not a done deal because look at this. Rob Ackley also putting down some pressure. So number 22 of Ackley might be in the mix as well. He's looking high on DJ Stagner. Has the draft from Blake Gordon as well. And as you take it up top to higher side of the track, you get a little more momentum off the edge of the corner, and these two drivers are definitely following each other for the most part through each and every turn. Now it's going to be Ackley dropping a bit lower, trying to cut deep. He's firmly in second now, looking for the race lead, goes down low and pulls right beside Blake Gordon. Now they'll be side by side, and they're going at each other, trying to make something happen. Neck and neck, they're 2 by 2. It's now going to be Ackley right down to the bottom side. He has room. Blake Gordon going to give him space. Not much else he can do right now because there are 6 lanes coming through the front straightaway. Ackley going to choose to stay on the racing circuit until the immediate exit. He's going to get back down to the apron, go up again, and he's going to stay neck and neck there with Blake Gordon. Still no major changes in this fight as they keep each other honest yet again. DJ Stagner going to be there in third. It's going to be Thomas Bressi fourth, and right now he's got a side-by-side battle right behind him. Look in the rear view and you'll see there's Cody Griffin and Vic Tarbuck as well. It looks like Griffin going to get away better in the battle, at least for now. He's going to swoop right up to Thomas Bressi's back end and make a few good moves while he's at it if he gets close enough. Look back at Justin Morton. You'll see Justin is now running in the 8th spot. He's got Chuck Sweeting right there on top. And as these two go side by side, you see how high Chuck Sweeting takes it and how low Justin Morton opts to go down to the bottom side. It's that difference in lanes. There's a lot of options, and the flexibility is immense as they go through the entire circuit from first to last. I think right now for Morton, he's going to settle back in. He also has Ryan Potter going up top, and drivers are starting to make that high side work out very well so far. There's that number 99 as the caution will fly. Looks to be back in the field where there's an incident. We are looking back right now. Caution is out. Looks to be Adam Wood who slowed down. We're trying to find out who in particular was involved as the caution flies. Looks to be outside of the top 40 here as we get a look at the circumstance. Yellow flag is out, and we've got ourselves trouble in the back of the field. Drivers look to be heading down a pit road, and we're working out exactly what happened here. You see Jacob Fife there, and he is still going. Yellow flag out. There's Don Stevenson as well, and we're going to try to take a look back. Instant replay just about half a minute ago to see what in particular caused this wreck. And that's the only issue right now. It's so many drivers on the track. Some of these cautions might be very troublesome to find out really what was the cause behind them here. And it looks like we're suffering from that issue as it stands. Looking back half a minute, yellow flag is out. Looks to be back of the field problems there. And as such, as we look at the circuit, you can see there 3 wide as the field came through the start finish line. Looks like nobody went around. This was something that happened outside of the top 30, and as such, drivers back it down, and we are immediately under pacing once again. So we'll try to figure out what went on here. Is it's going to be Stagner up in front, and he's going to be one of the many going down a pit road. Rob Ackley there, Blake Gordon, and all these drivers now starting to make their first calls on a pit road. It's busy once again, and we'll see who's got what it takes to make the first major strategy call. Pit road busier than ever here, and you see them all coming in. We'll see who wins the race off pit road right now. As you see, exit camera is going to show you who made it in. Ackley, Gordon. There's going to be Thomas Bressi, Cody Griffin, but it looks like on the way out, one driver beats them all. That's going to be Alan Dobbs. Then Rob Ackley, Blake Gordon, Gael Brooks, 3 wide with Bressi, Griffin, Travis McQuistion, and Justin Morton follows them. Then going to be Boomer Logan, Cody Smith, Trevor Trago, Adam Wood, Forrest Smith, and Brian McFerrin, and as they all leave just like that, the lead is given to DJ Stagner, and he's got Nick Tarbuck right there behind him. Justin Trombley is going to be in third. Chuck Sweeting is fourth, and Ryan Potter rounds out the top five as early troubles in the back of the field give way to our yellow flag. Neil Froelich still back there. John Pillion is trying to get back up with the leaders. He's a total of 2 laps down right now and hoping to recover as he sets himself back up for the rest of this race. John Pillion has not used a fast repair. There are none in these series. So with that being said, looks like he just lost out on pace early, and as such, number 46 machine pulls up to the back of the field as we are getting ready to go once again. Your leader, as it stands, it is DJ Stagner, scored at the top of the board, and we are set to get back at it once more with Stagner on top, Nick Tarbuck second, and Justin Trombley there in third. Restart number 1, and it's going to be coming at lap 16, and we getting ready to go at it once more. Top 30 looked to be clean that early stint. Hoping to see a bit more of that once again as the Raging Cajun in the 64 is set to lead us back to green. Looking further back, there's Chuck Sweeting, Tim Rogers, Carter Casey now in the top 10, Sebastian Miller's in 8th, and Braxton Weiss is in 9th, with Cody Erdman now concluding at top 10. He's made it up quite big so far, and Erdman continuing to make moves here. One of the drivers who started in the middle of the field and all of a sudden finds himself there in the top 10. Maybe he's got a little more in store as the race progresses, but a very fair start for the man in that number 26. Chad Mikas right now going to be in 11th with Timothy Johnston, then in the 12th spot. 13th is going to be Brad Wren, and you'll see now he's right there with Vinny Tigner, who holds his own in 14th. Going to be tight battles all throughout as we return to the racing this time by. It's the first restart of the day, and we're ready to go at it here in Fontana. Lap number 17, green flag will fly once again, and it'll be in the hands of DJ Stagner. And right beside him, Nick Tarbuck. iRacing official pace car will come in this time through, and we'll be set to go once more. Stagner going to have to control this restart on the high side. He's going to get things going middle of the restart zone, and we're back on the way. Green flag flies from Fontana, and it's going to be DJ Stagner bringing us back to the green flag. And Stagner going to be able to get that run immediately coming off the back straightaway. There he goes, side by side. Chuck Sweeting looking for second, and it looks like he'll get it for the time being over Nick Tarbuck. Justin Trombley then going to be in third, and the top 3 right now shuffling just a bit. You can see those moves being made by drivers who now have an opportunity with track position, and the reason being tires. As it stands, one driver going to go down in, that's Brad Patton. No, it's going to be Alan Dobbs. Looks like Dobbs goes through, and he's going to lose time big. And as it stands, another driver fading back, taking a look through. You can see the drivers got away from it, but Alan Dobbs looked to have fallen very quickly back, and as such, he gets back on the way. You saw him sliding through the grass there in the Nightfall graphics machine. Patton got by, but Dobbs went down and in, and it's a quick recovery there, but you see now he is in 35th position. Not a good place to be, and he's got a ways to go to get back up in front as he sets his sights on the leading pack. Up in front right now, you see Cody Erdman fighting with Rob Acme, but the overall race leader is DJ Stagner. Stagner leads him back to the line, and you can see 4 wide coming through the shot, and the back of the field is coming alive here. There's Brad Wren, Thomas Bressie, Matthew Thunor, Stephen Wetton, and it's a who's who of the field right now. That's how close they are in the middle of this group. Take a look, it's the eye in the sky. Nicholas Cohan and Wren nearly making contact, but let's take a look further out. 2 by 2 right now. Cody Griffin could send it deep if he has room, doesn't choose to do so. Sebastian Miller's going to be there with Vinny Tigner. In addition, Cody Erdman right there alongside them all, and now 3 wide as Cohan makes a pass on both drivers to his inside, and just like that, you see Todd Thomas, Travis McQuistion with Forrest Smith, Boomer Logan's around the part where they get single file. 30th on back, but the rest of the field is chaos right now, and even up in front with Mikas, Tigner, Miller, and company, they're all staying close, and it looks like that's going to be the theme for the rest of the night. DJ Stagner, 20 laps in, starting to get a little bit of a breakaway from Chuck Sweeting, but this is the chance for Chuck Sweeting to get that breakout win. As we mentioned, one of the drivers long overdue for him to get a race victory, and as you take a look at the wider frame, he is the closest by a clear margin to DJ Stagner. As DJ sets to lead him down through the start-finish line again. It's going to be lap number 21, and DJ Stagner has the advantage over Chuck Sweeting still. Look further back, Rob Ackley going to get back into third, and the reason being he's the only driver in the new tires that has carved through that entire hornet's nest. He's up the third, and the next closest driver on new tires is in 11th in Blake Gordon. While Gordon is still making moves fast, Rob Ackley has been an express through. The Rob Ackley rocket now going to be in second, looking down low on Stagner for the lead, and he might be able to get it before the next lap as he drops down to the apron, comes down a line, and it looks like slight advantage from Stagner. No more. It's Rob Ackley, your new race leader, 22 laps in, and the new tires have given him life all over again. Ackley made the decision to come down to pit road, and it looks to have paid off big. Blake Gordon, who now finds himself in 8th, he's definitely going to have the same benefit, but he's getting caught up in this a bit more than the other drivers that are ahead of him. So, of course, getting caught in the traffic is, of course, an unfortunate circumstance for Gordon. He's going to wear off the tires more and more, and he'll be equalized by the time he gets up to DJ Stagner, whereas Rob Ackley now has clean air, less of a competition to worry about, and he's up in front, and it's a huge advantage right now. It looks like his strategy game playing very, very nicely. The rest of the drivers went down to pit road are large part outside of the top 10, outside the top 20, some of which are outside of the top 30, and Rob Ackley is up in front nonetheless. Now he's got a chance to lead his laps, get some bonus points in. And DJ Stagner right now, no choice but to watch on as the man in the number 22 has taken the lead, and he is taking it by storm, right on board with Rob Ackley as the pressure is mounting in that 64. And as we watch with our current second place runner, Blake Gordon right there, and he gets much quicker run off the exit of the corner, but he gets locked up as well. Chuck Sweeting gonna box him into the inside, and Blake Gordon can't do anything about it. While he's already up there fighting for the podium, he does not have the room to maybe take it high until now. Here he goes through 3 and 4, up to the top side. It's Blake Gordon ripping, and he's gonna be able to take one position, now looking for a second. Gordon makes another move, gets the spot, whereas Cody Griffin now fights with Thomas Bressie and company in the middle of the pack once again. The mid-pack battles are just about as intense as the leaders tonight, and we'll try to focus on everything as the race goes on. 46 drivers registered for tonight, and it's the second largest field in series history. Of course, the largest, the 52 at Daytona, but of course here at Auto Club with less racing room, it's still an abundance of drivers taking to the track. Todd Thomas going down to the inside line. You saw him there. He's going to lunge deep on Bressie, but can't complete the pass, so he'll back down once again. And as such, he remains behind the number 24, with Ryan Potter now making some moves. Up top, he goes 3 wide. It's going to be 3 abreast at the stripe, but Bressie backs out again. Looks like he's going to save himself up for another run, and looking to be a little more of a conservative driver maybe tonight for Thomas Bressie, as he knows the chaos could come at any point with so many drivers in the field. Even the guys up in front are wheeling it right now, and the speeds are unbelievable for a track that is, of course, not always on the throttle. It's still high speed and full on every lap. We're seeing drivers hitting nearly 190 down the straightaways, backing it down for the corners at speeds of about 160 miles an hour, then going back up through the revs once again and putting that power down until another lap begins and another entry to turns 1 and 2. It's about a 30 mile an hour difference from the slowest speeds to the fastest tonight. And it goes to show the big variation that drivers have to keep in mind. As you see now, there's another battle. Looks to be 3 wide. Cody Smith got away with Tim Rogers, and they were next to Brad Patton. Patton right now runs in 17th, and while he wasn't able to get much out of that battle, at least immediately, he still runs with the pack here as they come in single file mostly, but a few drivers opting to go down to the inside, the lower portion, as the high groove is really coming alive. Take a look up top right now. Blake Gordon is ripping high. He's 0.6 of a second away from Blake Gordon, of course. Rob Ackley is as the leader, but for Gordon, he's the man chasing him down with the deficit. And you can see right now that number 19 slowly getting in there. Gordon might have actually played his cards right, a little more conservative on the push out, and now he's going to be gaining on your leader, whereas the drivers who are on younger tires are still largely bottlenecked. However, Cody Griffin is now coming in fast. Take a look down to the inside line. He'll go for it, and Griffin, who won at Daytona last week, already back in the podium. So looking good once more in the Lowe's Chevrolet. It's now going to be Blake Gordon up in front of the field in second. Cody Griffin just got by in third. They're all chasing Rob Ackley, though, and right now, nobody's gotten to him. Simply the quick man by a wide margin. Chuck Sweeting going to be fourth, but it looks like that will change with Thomas Bressie sliding down and in on him. Bressie, newer tires, and he got through as well. He's going to break through, and it looks like slowly but surely more drivers are slipping through the cracks. Next up would be Todd Thomas, then Justin Morton, then Cody Smith. Then you'd have to go a long way down because it's 13th Cody Smith, then 26th in Travis McQuistion. So despite the fact the newer tires seem to be the much quicker option, very few drivers have been able to use them well enough to make those passes. It's been all about aggression. So if you were aggressive early, you got the advantage of making the moves and getting by. But a few drivers right now, even with the tire advantage, just don't seem to have the ability to get up there on not only pace, but that ability to make the move when necessary. So looks like some limitations coming about for the drivers in this field. And Blake Gordon, one of the many, who's now chasing down Rob Ackley, but so far, no real substance to that matter. Ackley was the best to do it. He was the first to do it, and he leads the field 30 laps in out of 110 as he's set to take us down to the stripe once more. Rob Ackley, your first ever Integrity Ignite Series winner last season at Daytona. 2 career wins coming into the night, and he's looking for win number 3 with Domination Intimidation Racing. That number 22, by all means, quick at a track that requires speed and power all throughout, and we've seen it many times before. And tonight might just be an example of the same phenomenon coming into play. But of course, with more than 80 laps on the table, now 80 exactly, you gotta wonder, what will Rob Ackley do to make the strategy work from here on out? He's been on this stint for about 16 laps, so if we were to go green, we'd expect a pit stop out of him at about lap 55, maybe at the longest, we'd see him go till lap 60. But now, Rob Ackley in a world of his own, with Blake Gordon getting away as well, Cody Griffin and Thomas Bressie slowly starting to break out, and Cody Smith now up to 10th. He's been making moves all night long, and now going to be able to get up there inside of the top 10 for the first time tonight. How about that for the Next Level Racing Chevrolet? He'll try to go high on DJ Stagner, and you take a look here, he's going for the move and maybe trying to find Justin Trombley right up next. Cody Smith right now going to be running in 9th. He just got by DJ Stagner and looks to get past your pole sitter in Justin Trombley if he can get a good enough run. Right now, just doesn't have the distance closed in. He's getting nearer and nearer each time by, but nothing certain. Of course, with the newer tire, it should be a much easier pass, but you can never guarantee with racing what's going to happen. It looks like Smith going to be cut off there with a nice block from Trombley. No contact, no trouble, but the number 18 has to look elsewhere to make the pass happen, and there he does, down to the bottom side. Cody Smith going to be able to take that spot. He's up to 8th now, and it looks like all of a sudden, the man who's holding on strongest with an older tire is Chuck Sweeting. He is running in 7th right now, and if he were to get past, it will be 1st through 8th on new tire. Then you go back to 26th. Only 8 drivers got by despite the huge difference. It just goes to show the difference sometimes of the way these drivers treat their tire. And Rob Ackley, the man who set the trend, definitely got to be proud of himself as the yellow flag flies. It's a big equalizer here, and there is trouble on the racing circuit. Yellow flag is going to fly, and as we look back, we're going to find out what happened once again. Looks to be outside of the top 30 here as everyone else looks to get away nice. Neil Froelich right there. Some damage is not visible, so it looks like he's not involved. John Pillion got by, and a little bit of trouble once more finding the incident as the caution is out once again, and we are pacing. It looks like Jacob Fife has the trouble, and you can see there, damage is major. Now we got to figure out what just happened, as it looks like Jacob Fife, unfortunately, I don't believe the incident was caught, but it was Fife involved, and you take a look back in front. Fife is going to be on pit road, and he is stalled. Jacob Fife, and it looks like Don Stevenson, both on pit road, and they are destroyed. Front end contact for the both of them. For Jacob Fife in particular, it looks like the back end is just about gone as well, and both drivers have their night end prematurely. Second caution of the day, yellow flag is out, and Rob Ackley, the man who led the conquest throughout the field, gets a caution a bit earlier than he would like. 35 laps in out of 110. It's the saving grace for the guys in the middle of the field. For Ackley, now he might be one tire set short, although he did get that track position. Coming down in this time by, it's Ackley making the move. Todd Thomas stays on the track. He's going to choose to do something nobody else opts to, and now pit road gets busy once again. Fife and Stevenson involved, whereas the rest of the field makes it down to pit road all at once. It's a big pit road cycle once again. Todd Thomas is set to get away on his own. You'll see that number 78 coming right by your screen. And as he leaves, it's up to the rest of the field to show us what's going on. As Ackley comes in, so does Blake Gordon, and now Justin Trombley and DJ Stagner make it in about 10 seconds immediately thereafter. Ackley going to be inside of his pit stall, getting 4 tires and fuel. Looks like that's going to be the routine service that gets him back on the way, and Ackley will win the race off pit road with the exception of Matthew Thunhorst. Then there's Blake Gordon, Cody Griffin, Thomas Bressie, Justin Morton, Trombley. You saw Cody Smith there. In addition, while Trombley's the final man inside the top 10, 11th was DJ Stagner, 12th was Braxton DeWeese, 13th was Nick Tarbuck, and it was 14th Ryan Potter with the number 15 spot going to Brad Patton. He's the man, the final man in the top 15, 36 laps in. Todd Thomas going to try something different, get some track position, and for the first time this season, he is leading here in the Ignite Series. So for Todd Thomas, this is a big opportunity to gain some points, maybe going to help him out with some track position, perhaps expecting a quick yellow flag. Might be going down to pit road once again. It looks like Thunhorst with a pit road problem himself, and both of which are going to be coming down and in this time by, so they will not stay out on the track. As such, Trombley is going to come through no longer. It looks like it's going to be John Pillion, Thunhorst, and there's Todd Thomas alongside the number 78 machine. It looks like it's going to be, in addition, one more in Neil Froelich as Rob Ackley gets the lead right back. 1 lap to go this time by, 37 laps in out of 110. It's Ackley and Gordon who ran away on that last run. And it wasn't a surprise that someone would, but it was more surprise of who did. And these two drivers did it the best of anyone, getting out of the mayhem that was the old tires and life cycle, of course, being much shorter for that previous stint. Everyone back on the same set of Goodyear rubber. But for Rob Ackley and company, who got away, especially that top 8, big track position boost, and to help him out as the night goes on here, 37 laps in out of 110, and we will be good to get back going. This time by, it's going to be restart number 2. Those of you just tuning in live on FTN, you're watching the Fontana 220 here in the Integrity Ignite Series, and second race this season. We're just getting things started, so if you enjoy the action tonight, be sure to check out the Fireball Talks NASCAR YouTube channel for all exclusive coverage throughout 2024 of the Integrity Racing League. Or you can, of course, check out all of our other broadcasts. Leave a like on those streams as well. We'd love to have your support all throughout the year, as we are now over 1,430 subscribers, looking to continue to make a push toward 1,500 by end of month, next month, of course. March. Time to get the gears rolling once again with Rob Ackley getting the restart in motion. Control car gets a launch of 2 car lengths and the green flag's out. Ackley on the move. Rob Ackley up in front, going to take that lead once again. They're going to be 2, 3 wide all throughout the field. Take a look as we're going to get an overhead camera and show you how close it is. Nearly 4 wide with Tarba, Kohan, and Brad Patton all in the mix right there. Take a look just further back, and you'll also see there's going to be Brandon Kirkman, Kyle Cooper, Cody Erdman nearly squishing each other. There's Vinny Tigner and Chad Mike is also looking for room, and they go double file further on back. You see Alan Dobbs. He's 2x2 right now. Up in front, Braxton Weiss is looking to go 3 middle with Justin Trombley and Justin Morton. He's going to be in a Justin sandwich when all is said and done. But in the meanwhile, Rob Ackley gets the lead once again, and that 1/10 of a second jump is all he needs to retain the lead and put himself back on top of timing and scoring. You look further back, and there's Thomas Bresci running in 3rd, Cody Griffin 4th, and Chuck Sweeting there in 5th. The closest battles, though, are going to be in the middle of this pack, and the heart of the field sees Cody Erdman, Vinny Tigner, Brandon Kirkman and company all making it across the stripe 3 wide as we go for another lap. Make it lap 40, and we're coming up closer and closer to that halfway marker. Looking up top, you'll see there's Cody Erdman slowly washing up. Vinny Tigner now looking for space as he looks to have a lot of life in the tire. Everyone's back on equal set of Goodyear rubber. Keep that in mind. Now the difference is how you treat the tires and how you make your moves. So Tigner going to get up to the second lane. He'll be taking 3 wide once again. There's Cody Erdman looking 3 in the middle. He's going to back off ever so slightly. Now up in front, Ryan Potter side by side with Nick Tarbuck. This is a battle for 12th. Justin Trombley's neck and neck with Brad Patton for what would be the 8th position. Up in front, Cody Griffin side by side with Chuck Sweeting. Rob Ackley going to lead the way even still, 41 laps in out of 110, and it looks like his advantage is still thin, but just enough to hold off Blake Gordon as he's set to lead the field down the back straightaway. Gordon now going to look high, trying to get a little more racing real estate, and it looks like the top side will help him out substantially. Gets nearly neck and neck, and now they're going to be door to door, but just 6 lanes apart, separate from top to bottom. Ackley going to cut through the apron to save a little bit of distance, come right back up, and defend his leading position. As such, Rob Ackley maintains the race lead. They're coming up a lap machine right now. That is Neil Froelich, who runs currently in 37th. He'll be put 1 lap down momentarily here, as it looks like he's lost the draft and has a little bit of trouble getting going once more. He's going at about 181 miles an hour on his own. So it does look like he is slightly slower than those who are coming up on him. We'll see where Neil chooses to go here. A lot of options from top side to bottom, so maybe there's an opportunity for him to escape without much trouble, but there's already a risk in being up in front as a lead lapper. We'll see whether or not that comes into fruition as it's single file for the leaders, so they should be able to give this man in the 17 good space. Cody Smith is up to now the 8th position. He fights side by side with Justin Trombley, lapper on the apron. No trouble there. They all make it by in succession. See there, Cody Smith now going to be running with DJ Stagner and Justin Trombley, and as these 2 drivers run single file now, they're chasing the battle with Chuck Sweeting and Braxton Weiss. Braxton's going to be in 6th, it's Chuck Sweeting in 5th, and it looks like now Brad Patton looking to take a spot or 2 away as he dives down to the bottom side, and they're side by side at the line. Using all that racing real estate is a big deal here for the drivers, knowing there is no room to be spared. You do not at all want to waste the track you've been given. And here in Auto Club Speedway, there's so many opportunities to use the high side, use the low side, even go down to the apron at times. And that's a reason that these drivers most often find their own preferred groove, and it helps them out substantially. Not everyone drives this track the same, and it's very easy to find differences and nuances as the racing here goes on. Never is a race the same 2 times over in Auto Club, even if it's the same track and car combination, even if it has the same drivers. There's always something different, and the variables keep things oh so exciting each and every night of racing. And the caution flies again, this time by. Looks like trouble with John Borst. As we look further back, he slows down. No trouble for him. We're now going to try to find out what in particular caused it. For the 3rd time here, we do not have an immediate look, but you can see Todd Thomas is going to be destroyed. He's got a lot of trouble there, as it looks like he will be taking it down a pit road, and we'll take it back 15 seconds, if not 20, as it looks like we do have a glimpse of what caused this wreck, or if anything, what were the effects. Todd Thomas going to be involved there, and you can see he was just about stalled. He let go. It looks like, in addition, you saw a few other drivers making it down a pit road. Jay Aishman got destroyed, and on pit road, front end is gone, back end is too. Jay Aishman and Todd Thomas, both in the back of the field, 38th, 39th, respectively, caught up in the caution, and the yellow flag flies once more. We'll take it back up to your live feed here as you see them both down on pit road. Rob Ackley is going to be your leader as it stands, as the green flag no longer out. It's our 3rd caution of the day, and the yellow flag flies yet again here in Auto Club. Coming back to the green flag at about lap number 49, Ackley, Gordon, and Bresci. Those are your drivers inside the top 3. Then from there, you got Cody Griffin, Chuck Sweeting, Brad Patton, Braxton Weiss, and Justin Trombley. Going to be a lot of drivers making a big choice this time by, is it worth it to go down a pit road and risk track position? For Rob Ackley, it does not look like it will be, and we'll see a majority of drivers pass on pit road this time by. For the first time under yellow, it's not going to be a big pit cycle. Drivers are going to keep their track position, and we should be getting ready to roll once again as drivers maintain formation and choose instead to stay on the track. Track position right now, more important than new rubber. First 2 races of this Integrity Ignite Series season going to be all on the ovals, but next week when we get back to action on Monday nights, it's a 30-lap venture to the Circuit of the Americas. Austin, Texas will give us the 3rd race of the season. 30 laps from an iconic venue in itself, a modern classic, shall we say, and the Circuit of the Americas has given us great stock car racing in the real world, and in the Octane Series, we saw it last season. Now, for the first time with the Xfinity cars, we'll be able to take a drive down to Austin, Texas, and find out what it's like with these new packages on the Xfinity machines, the damage model, the physics, and the way these things drive on the road course is always fun for drivers. We have quite a few sprinkled throughout the schedule that'll make it an even more diverse circuit of 30 races all throughout the year. Watkins Glen, I know for sure, is coming back, one of the many tracks that we saw last season and gave us a fantastic race, albeit this year it's going to be a bit longer at 50 laps instead of the 40 that we saw last season. So a bit more racing and hopefully a bit better racing, as we are going to be once again going at it. This is your 3rd caution of the night here in Fontana, and Integrity Ignite Series rolls into California for race number 2 of the season. It's been exciting so far, but there's still a ways to go. If you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast, be sure to leave a like on the stream. It takes just about a second, and it's instrumental to providing this league the support it deserves. Once again, the Integrity Racing League, doing sim racing right since 2012. And if you want to join the fun, check out the Discord links in the description of every broadcast. You can sign up for the Integrity Octane Series and come along and join the fun here at Integrity. We'd love to have you as a driver. It's, of course, a fantastic opportunity. Very, very competitive field week in, week out. And tonight, it's time to go at it once again. Ackley, Gordon Griffin. That is your top three, and it's Thomas Bressi then in fourth, Chuck Sweeting in fifth, Brad Patton in sixth. We're less than 10 laps away from the halfway marker this time by, and Rob Ackley's going to have full control of the field once again. He and Blake Gordon have made very good on their initial pit strategy call. Now they're leading the way. They have not given up the top two ever since they got there. And it looks like that initial success translated into some long-term benefits for both of these drivers. So looking good for, of course, the two of them as they are set to get back at it this time by. It's going to be the iRacing official pace car, which drops in and lets the field go right back to work. Here we go again. It's going to be Ackley up in front, the control car for the second time in 3 restarts. He's got Thomas Bressi right behind him, and it's going to be 2 Chevys down low, 2 Chevys right up top, and the Bowtie Brigade will bring the field right back to green. 3rd restart of the night. Let's get things rolling once again. Ackley leads them, and we're back on the move. Rob Ackley gets the jump, but Thomas Bressi does as well. Bottom side going to come through nicely, and they're side by side working each other over for the second position, and now the runner-up battle as close as it gets. In addition, Chuck Sweeting gets a nice jump, and he's looking to keep his top 5 run alive. So far, he's been up there nearly every lap in this race, just hasn't been given the opportunity to really break out just yet. Still a very consistent top 10 machine. Just a bit further back, there's DJ Stagner fighting with Cody Smith. Smith going to make a block there on DJ. Nothing too crazy. And Braxton Weiss is going to go right up top, trying to take advantage of that very quick maneuver. 50 laps in out of 110. Lap number 56 is our halfway marker in this race. And now we're coming down to the next stretch as Justin Morton gets turned. One driver going to go spinning. Yellow flag is not going to come out. Shane Ewing gets away, but it looks like Alan Dobbs is going to lose it as well. Justin Morton spins, saves it, and gets back going. Now that for sure we got a replay of. Take a look back and find out what happened. Here's the instant replay. Here, as you see, Morton Dobbs make contact. It's 1 wiggle, 2 wiggles, and Shane Ewing barely gets away. Very good saves from both of these drivers. How about that from Morton and Dobbs? It's going to cost them track position, but we stay green. Fantastic driving from both after the initial contact. We stay green. 2 saves made at once. It's going to be Morton and Dobbs who keep it straight, and as such, we'll get back on the way here in Fontana. They're running still with the pack. 33rd for Justin Morton, 32nd for Alan Dobbs, and they return to the racing circuit, of course, battered, but not bruised. We stay green yet again. Blake Gordon going to be up there with Rob Ackley and Brad Patton. And now the fight is on again. This time it's Brad Patton looking for the race lead. And all of a sudden he's got the speed to take it down low. Looking for the race lead. Brad Patton, he's got an opportunity now. And it looks like he will take it. Looking low, Rob Ackley stays right up top. They'll stay side by side for at least the time being. And you see Blake Gordon, he's there. And he might have an opportunity to cross them both over. Now, doesn't look like he's going to get there as Patton jumps right through, takes the race lead, and for the first time tonight, it's that 0-7 right up in front, but Blake Gordon not going to have any of it, and he's now going to try to get a run, so will Rob Ackley. They nearly veer into each other, and they're now going to try to take him 3 wide for lead, and that they will. 3 wide up in front, Ackley down low, it's going to be Patton in the middle, and there goes Blake Gordon right up top, side by side by side. And nobody's giving in. It's going to be a question of who has to first. It looks like Rob Ackley does, but Blake Gordon is going to now try to keep on fighting for the top spot, knowing he had the speed to get there before. Now he wants to maintain the track position. Looks like Brad Patton, nobody a match for this man right now, and as such, he takes the race lead at lap 53, coming to lap 54. Brad Patton at the line, going to lead him back to the stripe, and as such, up in the front of the field, Patton's got it. Blake Gordon, right now, no match. And how about we take a lap on board with your second place driver, Blake Gordon, as he continues to fight against your leader. Letting off just a bit through the corner there. Looks like a bit of instability with Blake Gordon's number 19. And the caution will fly once again. You saw the yellow lights out. Is that for certain? It looks like it will be. Everyone going to back down once again. And ever so slightly, they'll pedal it back. Blake Gordon in second. Brad Patton, your leader, as we are set to get things going for another restart. Caution looks to be out on the circuit, and that is. Here we go once again. Looking further back, you see there Shane Ewing. He looks to be slowed down, and he does have damage. So let's take an instant replay and find out what just caused it. If Shane was with us during the cameras as the incident occurred, it looks like no, but you can see the damage. It is major. And the Rayovac number 32, one of the many drivers afflicted by this one, and the caution is out once again at the halfway marker of this race. Shane Ewing gonna catch a piece of the trouble, and as such, I don't know what he can do with the rest of his night. The back bumper looks to be all but destroyed, and it's gonna be Shane now running in 35th with big damage there. In addition, you see Tim Rogers got away from it. Sebastian Miller looked to be slowed down. We'll check up on him. He gets out of pit road right now, so he gets a bit of service immediately as the caution flies. Brad Patton, your race leader, with 55 laps to go, finds himself up ahead once again, and for the first time all night long, he has a chance to go down to pit road on his own accord. He'll be the leading man down and in, and it looks like he'll fake them out. One driver goes in for real. That's going to be Justin Trombley. Rest of the drivers seem to oppose that for at least the time being, and it's not going to be a popular decision, but some drivers make it. As you see there, Carter Casey, Brandon Kirkman. The back half of the field comes in. The front half opts to stay out. And maybe now we're seeing a bit of a change of heart from guys like Gordon and Rob Ackley, as these drivers who came through last time from the back half of the field, they were dangerous. Only 8 of them got through, but those that did ran away, and they've held control since then. It's a risk, but now we find out whether or not it was worth taking, as Patton keeps himself out in front. Blake Gordon is there in second, and Rob Ackley is in third. Top 3 remains the same, as we are under caution. 57 laps in out of 110. Drivers coming down the back straightaway this time through. They'll be ready to go rumbling once more through Fontana, California's 2-mile Auto Club Speedway. And as it stands, your top 10 goes as follows. Brad Patton leads from Blake Gordon in second, Rob Ackley in third, Cody Griffin in fourth, and Chuck Sweeting then in fifth. It's then Thomas Bressie sixth, Nick Tarbuck then in seventh, and Braxton Deweese in eighth, with Nicholas Cohan in ninth, and Cody Erdman rounding out the top 10. And right now for Next Level Racing, Cody Smith runs in the 14th position and finds himself holding on solidly. We'd like to thank Next Level Racing for becoming a premier partner of the Integrity Racing League and maintaining the premier partnership all throughout 2024. For those of you who don't know, Next Level Racing provides high-quality sim racing performance products for dedicated sim racers who deserve nothing but the best. For more information, visit nextlevelracing.com after tonight's broadcast. At lap 60, we'll be bringing you your first Next Level Racing promotional break of the night, and we'll have all the action from there on out. We've got only 3 in mind. Everything else covered courtesy of our friends at Next Level Racing. For those of you, of course, who know what happened last season, the champions of both series in the year-long competitions got a Next Level Racing simulator worth $2,000 in value. And of course, one of the drivers who won that award is racing with us right now, Thomas Bressie, who is there in sixth. He's making his only second start with this brand new Next Level Racing simulator, and it looks like he's just about as quick as he was last year, if not quicker, courtesy of his friends, of course, at nextlevelracing.com. Check them out after tonight's broadcast. We'd love to have you join the membership, of course, of the Next Level Racing family, and of course, since 2009, they've had all sim racers covered. Now, Brad Patton has a chance to cover the field. He's got the lead, has the track position, and is in the best spot he's been all night long since the jump. It's his opportunity to come through this time by and lead him to the green flag. Patton, Gordon, Griffin, Ackley. They're the drivers up in front, the Fast Four, looking to lead us back as we get to the green flag. iRacing official pace car is going to drop in this time by, and it's Brad Patton's green flag for the taking. Here we go again, a restart with 52 laps to go. Green flag's out, and it's Patton in full reign. As the field comes by, Brad Patton's got the race lead, as you can see there, but further on back, the battles continue. Rob Ackley going to be neck and neck there with Cody Griffin. In addition, you're also going to see 3 wide between Ryan Potter, Justin Trombley, and Cody Smith as they come through once again here to lap number 60. Patton at the line is going to keep that race lead. They're nearly 4 wide further on back. Matthew Thunhorse there with Carter Casey and Travis McQuistion. Brandon Kirkman not to be excluded as well, as all drivers get going at long last. Back racing here with restart number 4. We'll be right back after this brief promotional message from our friends at Next Level Racing and the next 50 laps, the most action-packed of which. Stay tuned. You're watching the Integrity Ignite series only on FTN. Laps remaining, and Brad Patton maintains the race lead here. He's been able to hold them off all very well since the jump, and it looks like now he's got that advantage with Blake Gordon and Cody Griffin working right behind. In addition there, you'll see Nick Tarbuck in the middle. He's got himself almost covered off by Justin Trombley, but Trombley backs off at the same time, giving a bit more room and helping both drivers out here as we try to keep it all clean, as they're 4 wide with Thomas Bressie, Ackley, Cohan, and Matthew Thunhorse. The closest they've been up in front. This is a fight inside the top 10, and they're using just about every lane of track. 3 wide, 3 rows deep, and they're making a grid of thirds, and it looks like right now it's going to be the inside of Matthew Thunhorse starting to prevail. Thunhorse looking for a good run tonight, didn't get the qualifying performance he wanted, and now he's looking to make moves up in front. We know how quick he's been all throughout 2023, and of course showing the glimpses of that at Daytona, but tonight, of course, not going to be a drafting track. They say a little more skill comes at these circuits. It's all debatable, but right now you can see that individual driver speed of Matthew Thunhorse coming in. It's also being very much helped by the new tires. Guys like Bressie and company are being left in the dust right now, and you can see the front runners of old are beginning to become replaced. Rob Ackley is falling down to 11th. While right now, it looks like it's going to be that number 19 of Blake Gordon in 7th. It's a minefield right now. The new drivers with the newer tires are coming in fast, and those who stayed out are losing and dropping like a rock. You can see Patton there. You can see Cohan significantly slower than drivers right now like Brandon Kirkman. Kirkman's going to take him 3 wide, and he's going to go through 3 and 4, make up 2 positions, and he's looking for Brad Patton very, very quickly. He's already right behind that 0-7. And that goes to show the difference in the tire age. Now Justin Trombley leads him again, 65 laps in out of 110. And with Trombley back up in front, your pole sitter has made his way on top just after the halfway mark. It's been a struggle, but now there's an opportunity to make some spots up for a few other drivers. Take a look who's now in second, DJ Stagner. At long last, it looks like the front runners of old have finally been reunited, and it took them a while, but it looks like it's all coming down right according to plan. You see there's Nick Tyrebuck in the mix with Matthew Thunhorst. Vinny Tigner going to be in fifth, and a bit of a slide there from the number 8 of Thunhorst. He's going to be able to save it once again, but that was a risky position to put himself in, and at the line, it's Nick Tyrebuck right there on top. Vinny Tigner, now you see him there. He's going to be looking bottom of 3, doesn't have the room, backs off. He's going to try to go at least for the 29 of Nick Tyrebuck here. Nick is going to leave the gap wide open, and as such, there's now another chance to take a position away. Tigner making only his second career start, much like, of course, a majority of the rookies this season were coming in. However, Tigner's a driver who absolutely needs this experience because on Saturday night, we are set to go to Fontana with the Saturday Night Thunder Grand National Series very, very soon. As a matter of fact, looking at the schedule, it is going to be 2 weeks away. Keep that in mind. It's going to be Fontana on the schedule of the Saturday Night Thunder Grand National Series, which we broadcast exclusively on FTN. Vinny Tigner, the SNT owner, racing in integrity this season for a full-time campaign alongside co-owner Carter Casey, both of which they've seen success early in the night. Casey right now falling a bit further back, but he's still running in the thick of the pack. As it stands, it's Carter Casey and Vinny Tigner looking to go ups and downs, and right now, Vinny Tigner experiencing the highs. As Justin Trombley, the highest of all highs, is your leader. DJ Stagner second, and Matthew Thunhorst there in third. How about a guy like Adam Wood? We saw him make contact with the wall very early in this race, and he's once again made his way back up in front. Despite the initial troubles, the all is well right now for the number 45. He's running 11th, a very solid performance, which puts him once again up inside of the top 15. And with the speed he had the last time by, he might be quick enough to stay with some of the guys in the bottom half of the top 10. Brad Patton continues to drop, and as he drops, it looks like it's an opportunity for someone like Wood to make up another position and lock himself into the top 10, because right now it looks like Patton is acting like a bit of a roadblock simply because of how much older his tires are. He is the one driver who's holding up better than anyone else given the circumstance. And despite that, he's still dropped back into 9th. Now he'll be taken 3 wide because Forrest Smith is going to go up to the top side and look as well. He's going to take Stephen Wetton right there with him. Wood nearly in the wall because Forrest Smith goes up there, and it was a risk. Luckily, everyone comes out of it all right, and 69 laps in, your pole sitter has a nice lead over the rest of the field. That is Justin Trombley up in front. Trombley takes him down to the stripe once again, and it looks like right now he is in full control. 13 laps in on this stint, it's he and Stagner up in front, and Matthew Thunhorst slowly gaining a bit more, but the driver who looks to be the quickest right now is absolutely going to be Vinny Tigner. And with Vinny Tigner up into 4th, looking for the podium, he might have a chance to get up there in the top 3. But with 41 laps to go, there is still one more pit stop mandatory for every driver to make it to the end of this race. There is no way possible for the drivers to go from here on out on one cycle, because that will be about 54 laps on one stint. We have not seen more than 25 attempted by most drivers tonight. The longest right now is going to be 34, a stretch by Nicholas Cohan, and even then, we'll see how much longer he can bear with it, because he's one of the very few who seems to be running solidly despite that fact. Forrest Smith is having more trouble, and right now running in 14th up in the wall once again. That will give way to Cody Griffin, and it's going to help out Chuck Sweeting getting a run as well. So another driver, a little bit of a bobble, and it's going to be just enough to assist Sweeting and company. You see Brian McFerrin, who's in 18th right now, that number 7, getting close at the same time. And with Brian McFerrin making the move in, take a ride on board right now with the number 7 and see what it's like in the heart of the field. And McFerrin, down at the bottom of the racing circuit, he's looking low right now. on Thomas Bressi. He's side by side right there. He's also got Nicholas Cohan right there with them. And just ahead, you see Daytona winner Cody Griffin. It's a star-studded middle of the field, and it goes to show how talented every driver is. And with so many entering the track tonight, it's competition which is fierce from the very top to the very bottom, which in some instances helps these drivers get away if they can distract another with this very close racing. But for someone like Brian McFerrin, who looks to have speed, of course he's on newer tires, the guys on older tires are still defending very well, and as such, McFerrin going to take a shove there from Nicholas Cohan, and Cohan going to send him just a bit deeper as they rattle through turns 1 and 2. Still getting a push and a shove or two, and it looks like he's going to be able to handle it at least a bit better, as now he should be able to take one spot away for Smith. Still slowly but surely losing speed and losing that momentum consistently here. It looks like the troubles ensue yet again as he goes up top. Now goes Chuck Sweeting right down low. As such, it's moved down to the bottom of the track for the number 75 as he looks for position yet again. DJ Stagner right now runs still in second. It looks like Matthew Thunhorse has been able to hold off a hard-charging Vinny Tigner, but doesn't mean he's going to be able to do so forever. Tigner is absolutely about as close as he can get right now, within the passing range of a quarter of a second. And I think for the time being, there's little he can do right now but wait and prepare himself for the right time. With 37 laps to go and presumably about 15 more laps on this cycle, very little reason to assume that the best time to pass is now immediately. I would think there's going to be a little bit more of a waiting game involved, especially if you're Tigner in here. He knows what it takes to be patient. He is seeing races come and go here in Atlanta, or rather Auto Club, as we go to Atlanta tomorrow, and he knows what it's like at both circuits, particularly this one, what it takes to win and what it takes to lose. Now, Atlanta will be the Integrity Octane Series tomorrow night. Figured we'd mention it. If you're enjoying the Ignite Series action, be sure to check out what goes on tomorrow night for 134 laps of racing in Hampton, Georgia. It's going to be a great show, but tonight, back to Auto Club. Tigner in the championship race last season of SNT. It all came down to the final lap. He, Jordan Kuntz, Alec Daffin, and there was a last lap wreck down the back straightaway here in Fontana, and Tigner's championship hopes went up in smoke. Now, of course, there's an opportunity always to rebound, and he won at a very similar track in that league just a few weeks ago, Michigan, but Auto Club always has that different element of Michigan and vice versa, so see whether or not those principles can be applied well tonight, because so far, he's done a successful job of making those moves, but I feel there's still improvements to be made, of course, for any driver as the race goes on, and of course, Tigner, aware of that, is still getting closer and closer to Thunhorst as the race progresses. Justin Tromley, your pole sitter, the rookie, up in front. He's led the way ever since the restart, and absolutely nobody has challenged him. It looks like he's got himself in a very nice rhythm as one driver is going to drop down low. Is that a pit stop or is that an incident? It's a pit stop. Down low after 40 laps, Chuck Sweeting comes in with Gael Brooks, and Travis McQuistion comes with. Now we got drivers making moves down and in. Brad Patton went in as well, and pit road is getting busy with 34 laps to go. We'd like to thank Bryce Meddings for the info about Patton coming through as Sweeting makes his way in. Now a big pit cycle is in full swing. Just like that, we've got ourselves a movement on pit road, and 40 laps. That looks to be just about the maximum anyone can go. We will be seeing one more cycle for every driver, no matter what, at this rate. So that being said, keep your eyes peeled for the leaders up ahead. We will see more drivers who are further back go in. Thomas Bressi comes through with Cody Griffin, Braxton Deweese, Blake Gordon, Kyle Cooper, and Justin Morton. Another big gaggle of drivers makes it in together, and as such, they're setting themselves up for what will be a final stint of 33 laps. Everyone should be good on fuel and tire to make it to the end. I don't think the question is whether or not you can make it, it's whether or not you can do so quickly. That is the big question for the rest of the night. And every driver asking themselves this question: when is the best time to go in. Now, if a driver like Trombley wanted to, he could go in right now, but he could also wait up to 20 more laps and save the best stuff for later. He could split the entire stint, going in about 10 laps time and have a 30-30 split. That's a choice as well, but I don't know if he's going to go for that either. So a lot of options running through the minds of every driver who's up in front. As you see now, Nick Tarbuck, Alan Dobbs, John Pillion, all down and in. Now it's Vinny Tigner, Matthew Thunhorst, DJ Stagner, and Justin Trombley still leading here. They're going to be separate by just over 1 second. The leaders are still out front, and guys who are lap machines or guys who are on a much different strategy about older tires, they're coming in as well. Pit road getting busy, and Alan Dobbs, who had a 22-lap run, he made it in this time by, so maybe more drivers on that older stint will come in as well with the younger stint. Pit road gonna see Adam Wood and Chad Mikus at the same time, both of which are much different strategies, and they'll come down both together. Now with strategy really coming down on the next pit cycle, we gotta wonder, what's the next move for the race leader of Justin Trombley? He will set the tone for the top 5 drivers if they don't set it for him. He has the opportunity to make it in first and really dictate what these drivers behind him do, or we could see an undercut where someone tries to get the better of the man in the number 34, and it could be that strategy of taking advantage of the man ahead of you that really comes into play. Would see someone like Stagner, Thunhorst, or Tigner risk it and go from the front of the field to further down back as they hope to gain more position. Cody Erdman comes in this time by, and as he drops in, he's going to miss his stall slightly, back up, and get going once again. Carter Casey going to be right there, and as it stands, looks like the number 2 machine running in 13th now, and while Vinny Tigner runs in 3rd, there's a chance for Carter Casey to slide up inside of the top 10. Matthew Thunhorst's going to be leading the way, even still fighting with Stagner and Trombley, and the top 3 gaggle getting a little closer. As you can see, up top, there's Trevor Trago on a much younger set of tire. It looks like Trago is one of the drivers that went down a pit road, and he should be able to make it around Patton and the like. As you see, Brad Patton already going to be behind. The question is, can Justin Trombley on going? 29 laps to go. He got by a lapper here, but still no signs of heading down a pit road. One driver that looks to be a bit slower is Forrest Smith again. 9th right now. He drops in low. He could be coming down a pit road this time by, and we'll see whether or not he signals in. It looks like for Forrest Smith, he eyes it, and he will commit. Forrest Smith is down a pit road, and so is Brandon Bernhardt. Both drivers make it in together, and another duo makes it through with 28 laps remaining. Now you'll see they're going to shuffle right by Trevor Trago, Brad Patton coming in the mix as well, and Justin Trombley gets another driver, and Nicholas Cohan as a buffer. DJ Stagner's trying hard to get by these lappers, but when you're not the leader, it's not easy. And now it's Brad Patton backing up to Stagner, making it close and wiggling Stagner up the track. And DJ having no fun here as he's going to be in the middle of a big pack of drivers on a different lap than him. It's going to be now Brandon Bernhardt at the exit of pit road. Timothy Johnston right now gets with Vinny Tigner. And for the lead lap machines that were fighting oh so hard to get up to your leader in Trombley, this is about the worst thing that could happen to them. It's about a nightmare in all honesty. And with 27 laps to go, that is the big difference. As it stands, 27 remaining, you'll see Matthew Thunhorst there in 3rd, the lapper of Trevor Trago right there with them, and so many lappers all at once in one spot, be it strategy, be it incidents that have all brought them together. Ryan Potter would like to be alone. He'll go down a pit road by himself, and it looks like he'll take nobody with him. Justin Morton now fighting Carter Casey in a rather secluded battle. These 2 drivers are fighting for the 9th position. Right now, the snap-on number 2 has the spot. Justin Morton does not. Pretty simple right now for these drivers, but up in front, the stakes are as high as they get. And it looks like for now, nothing much has changed. 26 laps to go. Trombley beginning to run away, and with Cody Griffin and company all here, it's a huge pack of drivers that are anticipating the next big cycle. You see Griffin there. You see the 22 of Ackley. You see Blake Gordon. You see DJ Stagner, Chad Mikas, Matthew Thunhorst, all in this mix. Drivers who went down to pit road for the most part, but Thunhorst goes in that time by, and he's the first of the big three to drop in. Wiggles just a bit, but he'll save it, and he'll bring Brandon Kirkman right there with. As such, it's Trombley and DJ Stagner. The call is in their hands. And it could be up to these two. See who gets in first. Blake Gordon can drop down to the bottom side and just barely make it around. It going to be now Trombley letting another lapper go through. He could be giving us a signal this time by. No official word. He stays up top. Let Chat Mikas drop in on him. DJ Stagner, whereas, is going to stay at full pace for now. Drops back behind the number 24 Bressie, and it looks like he will confirm that he's going down to pit road and take Vinny Tigner right there with them. Another bunch goes through. Stagner, Tigner, both at once, and now Justin Trombley, with 24 laps remaining, is the only driver in his circle left on the circuit. Right now, Justin Trombley going to let Thomas Bressie go down to the inside here. DJ Stagner is set to cycle out momentarily. He's not even in frame there, but he is on pit road. Trombley stays up top, and it looks like he's got no signs of giving in. It's going to be Justin Trombley, Stephen Wetton, Brian McFerrin, John Pillion, and Carter Casey up there inside the top 5 according to scoring. Right now, though, it's all a big shuffle, and nobody is a guarantee. You see Nick Tarbuck there in 7th, Alan Dobbs in 8th, and it's going to be Adam Wood in 9th. As you see, Casey now going to be up inside of the top 5 and 4th. Brian McFerrin is 3rd, actually, so some big gains there. And with 23 laps to go, we like to thank our camera partners at TrackCams22.com, providing high-quality iRacing cameras for broadcasters, photographers, and users looking to up their replay game. TrackCams22.com is the one-stop shop for all of your iRacing camera needs. And as we have a new leader with Justin Trombley dropping in, Stephen Wetton will lead you into our 22 to go. Crank it up, courtesy of our friends at TrackCams22.com. With 17 laps remaining, Stephen Wetton has decided not yet to go down to pit road. He is still scored as the man on the top of the board. It's Wetton ahead of the rest of the field as we bring you back from our crank it up with 22 laps to go, and all of a sudden the home stretch is just ahead. Right now it's Stephen Wetton rolling with Brian McFerrin in second, then John Borst in third, Nick Tarbuck then in third. It looks like he moves up quickly to third as Borst is having some connection issues, and timing and scoring is all over the place right now. Pit stops have come and gone, and now we're due to find out who really has control tonight. With 16 laps to go, everyone's up in the air, and it looks like at some points Carter Casey scored as the man on top, but Wetton, by all accounts, who has not gone down a pit road, is your official leader for the time being. He currently has that spot over Brian McFerrin, and you'll see McFerrin right there in the back of the frame. That number 7 has maintained himself in the runner-up position all throughout the night, and with 16 laps to go, he's maintained himself behind Wetton, moved up to second, and is in a very good spot to maybe lead a lap or two, but I don't know about much else because he does have to come down to pit road. The man who leads of those who went down to pit road at least once looks to be Alan Dobbs right now, but by no means is Dobbs being raced easy, and it looks like of those who have gone down to pit road, he's right there with Nick Tarbuck, Matthew Thunhorst, and this is the battle for the net race lead when everyone cycles out. 15 to go. It's going to come down to these three who will take it 3 abreast, but 2 of which are lead battlers, one of which is a lap machine. That's John Borst, and Borst is going to get out of the way, whereas Nick Tarbuck and Matthew Thunhorst get right by, and DJ Stagner is there as well. Right now, the pit strategy battle is still going on for drivers choosing to stay out as long as possible. But for a driver like Stagner, Thunhorst, or Tarbuck, they are looking for the real race lead. The rest of the race is on the line for these guys with 14 to go, and I feel like this is what it's going to come down to. Which of them can get away in the final 10 laps? They're revving up for what's left. I don't think that we're going to see anything major shift. Brian McFerrin that time by looked to have signs of coming down a pit road. Still no official verdict, and he's staying out there regardless. You'll see there Stephen Wetton. He looks low, doesn't commit to it, and he's going to keep himself on the circuit. Looks like of those who have stayed out on the track, they're staying for now as much as they can on the track until it's all said and done. You have to look back to Justin Trombley, DJ Stagner, Matthew Thunhorst in this big battle for the overall race lead when they're all cycled through to find out who really has a chance for the race win, and right now is looking and living on that prayer. It's going to be a dozen laps remaining this time by as the overall leader, Stephen Wetton, comes by. Your leaders who are fighting for the win tonight, they're right now making it through turns 1 and 2, just about a half lap away. An 18-second gap between Matthew Thunhorst and Stephen Wetton, and those two drivers so far apart. Right now, you wouldn't see them in the same frame if we showed any camera angle. The only question is, how long can they manage up in front? Because right now, it is going to be Wetton, McFerrin, and Carter Casey who look to be the 1-2-3 combo, and rest of the field, it's a huge difference. Justin Morton has stayed out. He is in 4th. However, everyone else looks to have gone down a pit road at least once during this cycle, and they've all made at least one sacrifice in going down and in. And I don't think it's going to come down to those who stay out the longest being the winner. It's all about those who get out in front of that pack we mentioned before, which is still a toss and turn. It's going to be Trombley right ahead of Matthew Thunhorst here, and you can see Thunhorst is just about a car length behind. Just hasn't been able to make the move to get the pass to stick, but he got, more than anything, the real estate to do so. Right on board here with Matthew Thunhorst, and you'll see not one but 2 drivers right around him fighting for the spots at the top of the board. This would be the battle for race lead when all is said and done. Thunhorst has clawed his way up here for Stagner and Trombley. They've been here since the beginning, but never have they looked this competitive until right about now. And for Matthew Thunhorst, he started in 37th tonight. The 2 drivers ahead of him started in 1st and 2nd respectively. He's fighting against the front row, and he came from outside the top 35. It's a big underdog story this race, although we know the success of Thunhorst last year. What a story would be if he came out with the win. McFerrin and Wetton go in this time by. That leaves only Carter Casey and Justin Morton out on the track. It's going to be a very small gap shorter and shorter each time for the race lead. Now Casey going to be chased down by Justin Morton, and next up with 10 laps to go, it's going to be Justin Trombley, Stagner, and Dunhorst. With 10 laps to go this time by, we will bring you your final Next Level Racing promotional break of the night and give you the rest of tonight's coverage completely uninterrupted. Once again, you're watching the Integrity Ignite series live on FTN, and if you'd like to support the Integrity Racing League, check out nextlevelracing.com for more information about high-quality sim racing products dedicated to all sim racers who deserve nothing but the best. We'd like to once again thank nextlevelracing.com for their participation in the Integrity Ignite series and the entire Integrity Racing League, and we'll be right back for the final time after these messages. Seven laps remain. As it stands, Justin Trombley, your pole sitter, is once again back on top. He's got DJ Stagner right behind him, and Matthew Thunhorst, the man who came from 37th on up, still has a chance to go for the race lead. However, he's slowly but surely fading back, and in the dying laps of this event, it appears Trombley has full control. The number 34 is now out in front, leading the way strong as the rest of the field continues to battle. You'll see Blake Gordon there alongside Thomas Bressie. That's the fight right now for the 13th position, with Nicholas Cohan just a few spots ahead. Cody Griffin right now going to be 14th, Bressie 15th, and Blake Gordon in that 16th spot. You see down to the inside, Brandon Bernhardt also going to be looking for a position, and right now it looks like he's got a chance to take it. He'll send himself deep, no contact, but it looks like the Hooters number 81 will take a peek down low and try to run with it from here on out. Further on up the track, you'll see Alan Dobbs in number 77. Despite some pitfalls tonight and some incidents, Dobbs has been able to make it up into the top 10 and looks good to go from here on out with a top 10 finish if all were to stay the same with 6 laps remaining. Vinny Tigner, how about a breakout night for the number 12, top 5 here in Auto Club, a track we expected him to run well out given his experience at Michigan and Fontana before. He's up here in the top 5, and he could have a chance at Nick Tarbuck when all is said and done as well. Maybe we'll see something more there as the night goes on. Matthew Thunhorst, 3rd spot. DJ Stagner is in 2nd. And Justin Trombley, with 5 laps remaining, is your leading man. He has not given in just yet, and it looks like coming around with just 5 more cycles. Now less than that, coming down to only 4. Trombley looks good to go for what could be a first career victory, and a breakout one at that, as another rookie is set to rise to the top of the ranks. And the rookies tonight have been very, very impressive. When you look throughout the top 10, we have a rookie in 1st, a rookie now fighting for 4th. Looks like Tigner just took that 4th spot away, a rookie in 6th. Even though there aren't any others besides those, we see some drivers going for full-time runs for the first time this season. Of course, Braxton Weiss is full-time all throughout the year. Now you look back, there's also guys like Timothy Johnston coming back, but the rookies themselves have been able to show off exactly the speed they have against the veterans, even those who have returned after a long period of absence. Tonight, the spotlight is on the brand new, and tonight, the new man, Justin Trombley, has the lead with 3 full laps to go. In Fontana, he's gotten away in the 2-mile track, and oftentimes the true dominant car breaks out through that strategy. And tonight, he and DJ Stagner especially gave us a glimpse into how strategy sometimes does not look perfect. Until the first half of this race, these two drivers absolutely did not look relevant in the picture. But they came back around lap 65, and from there on out, these have been the dominant drivers, and they hopefully have a little bit more left to make it to the very end. You look further back, you're also going to see the battles between Chuck Sweeting, Alan Dobbs, and Brad Patton. Patton down to the bottom side with Dobbs here, and as Patton stays down low, they're going to go right up to the top of the track, leaving no inch to spare. A little bit of inching back and forth as Dobbs tries to push the issue. They are definitely making contact now into 1 and 2. Sweeting looking for a glimpse of it, but just can't get it. At the 2-lap to go marker, it's now or never for a lot of these drivers. It looks like Nick Tarbuck going to be putting that battle to rest as Vinny Tigner got by, and Justin Trombley now with the opportunity to make it through with only 1 lap to go. The white flag makes this race official, and it will be the final lap of racing here in Auto Club. Returning to this track after its real-life demise, every driver knew this was one of the special events on the schedule. A crown jewel, maybe not in the schedule's reality, but it's a symbolic moment for each and every one of the 45 drivers that took the green flag. For Justin Trombley, the rookie tonight, making only his 2nd career start, it's a breakout race. Strategy was the most important part from start to finish, and he excelled in that, and then some. With inaugural champion DJ Stagner just a 2.5 behind, it's Justin Trombley in the number 34, the Matte Black Machine, taking to the start-finish line and collecting the checkered flag in Fontana. The rookie in the 34 will win from Auto Club Speedway, and DJ Stagner finishes in 2nd. Matthew Thunhorst from 37th up to 3rd collects the final spot in the podium and shows what it's like to claw through adversity and make it to the checkered flag with more than a solid result. A fantastic drive there for each of your podium drivers, and a first-time winner in Justin Trombley. The number 34 will come down to the start-finish line, set to burn down the house if he chooses, but looks like instead he'll drop down a pit road and make it in quickly. Going to be a rapid departure for the number 34 of Justin Trombley, and just like that, his night is done. He knows what he's done on the track tonight, and he already tore everyone else to shreds. No need to burn the tires any further. Checkered flag out for Justin Trombley in the number 34. He will win just over a 2.5 behind will be DJ Stagner, and then from there it's going to be Matthew Thunhorst in 3rd, who came the most course throughout the field from the mid-pack or even further in 37th up the 3rd. Then from there you're also going to see Vinny Tigner, who comes through in 4th, a career-high finish for him, and Nick Tarbuck going to be in 5th, with Brandon Kirkman 6th, Chad Micah 7th, and 8th, Brad Patton. It'll be Alan Dobbs then in 9th, and Chuck Sweeting in 10th. Further on back, you're going to see Braxton Weiss in 11th, then going to be Thomas Bresci in 12th, Cody Griffin 13th, Nicholas Cohan 14th, and Adam Wood in position number 15. It'll be Brandon Bernhardt 16th, and Timothy Johnston 17th, with Blake Gordon 18th. Gael Brooks 19th, and Kyle Cooper rounding out the top 20. 21st is Rob Ackley, with 22nd being Cody Erdman, with 23rd Boomer Logan, and Brian McFerrin comes home 24th. It'll be Cody Smith 25th, Stephen Wetton, who led up to the 12-lap to go marker, he fades back to 26th, John Pillion 27th, Ryan Potter 28th, Ford Smith position number 29, and Alan Rawell 30th. On the board. 31st will be Carter Casey with Justin Morton 32nd. John Borst is going to be 33rd. And then Neil Froelich 34th. Tim Rogers rounds out the top 35 with 36th being Sebastian Miller. And Shane Ewing, 37th at the finish, 11 laps down. 16 down is Trevor Tragle, 34 down, Travis McQuistion, and then you'll see 48 laps down, Brad Wren. Finally, it'll be Jay Aishman, 66 laps down with Todd Thomas, Jacob Fife and Don Stevenson, 77 laps down, and Don Runkle, the final man to take the green flag, 102 laps down, with Chris Gabot not starting tonight's event and finishing 46th and last. How about our winner? We'll get your top 3 interviews momentarily, and we'll kick it all off with the man who got it done, Justin Trombley. Looking for the man who got it done. Victory lane is his, and we're going to get a comment from your race winner right about now. Justin Trombley does not appear to be in any voice chats right now, so we'll try to get him in and see what's going on as the 34 collects the checkered flag and dominates the final stint to get into victory. Justin Trombley on the way here. We will get a word from your overall race winner. Then from there, we're going to see DJ Stagner. And finally, to round out the top 3, Matthew Thunhorse and the number 8. It looks like Justin Trombley now available for comments. So let's get a word in with the number 34. Trombley, tonight the strategy was the biggest of everything. Came down to the tires and the fuel cycle, especially at the end with the green flag. And tonight, with that long green flag run at the very end, you came back at the halfway point and dominated from there to collect the checkered flag in Fontana. How's it feel with your first win out the way in only your second start?
Yeah, it feels good. I needed to win because there's a few tracks on the schedule I don't even own and I probably won't buy. So pointing my way into the playoffs probably won't happen. So I needed to win. So I'm glad it's out of the way. Got lucky, but glad it's out of the way.
Of course, great to get that win early, no matter what the circumstance is. And tonight, with so many drivers and, of course, the mileage, you needed to make sure that everything went well tonight, avoiding the chaos. How many drivers were all over each other. It's, of course, great that we didn't have any more cautions, but there was quite a lot of attrition early in the going before we eventually smoothed things out. And as we mentioned, it all came down to that strategy. So what was it like preparing for the next half of the race, the second half, as it seems like you took a back seat early and came back later when it mattered the most?
Yeah, I'm kind of a long run guy, so I was hoping for long runs. We didn't get them. I knew I had to do something different instead of just ride in line, so I decided to pit there. And I was a little worried I was so far back, but we made up ground. And then at that point, I just had to pray it stayed green, and I should have been fine. And it worked out for once.
Everything working out there at the end. We saw the battle between you, DJ Stagner, and Matthew Thunhorse, but you pulled away quite quickly to get through with the victory. You think there was anything in particular there that helped you out and gain that lead and keeping with it?
Nah, probably just clean air out in front of those guys. I mean, I think it seemed like we were all just about the same speed for the most part.
Getting the clean air quickly separates you from the pack, and just like that, victory lane is yours. And we're taking it to a much different style of track here. Circuit of the Americas, the road courses, the twists and turns. Now, you've got this out of the way. What's it going to be like approaching a completely different type of track? Knowing the win, you already have it in your back pocket. What's up next for the 34 team?
We will be taking the next race off because I don't own the track and I'm probably the worst road racer on the service. So we're going to take it off.
Extended vacation to celebrate the victory, I say so. Justin Trombley, you get the checkered flag tonight. Looks like a week off immediately after. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Anyone else you'd like to shout out after this fantastic performance?
I just want to thank all the integrity guys for putting on the league. It's really fun. I raced it, I don't know, a little bit here and there, couple 3 years ago, and wanted to come back and try it again. And I'm glad I did. It's a good place to race. And thank you guys for doing the broadcast.
Great return so far for Justin Trombley and the number 34 team. The checkered flag collected in only the second start of the year, winning here in Auto Club. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Justin Trombley on the move, the man who finishes just 1 second behind him. We'll speak to him right now, DJ Stagner, once more back in the broadcast booth. A podium tonight looks like, much like Justin Trombley, you came back there in the second half when it mattered the most, and much like your starting position, you finished second here in Fontana. How was it out there for 220 miles of hard-fought racing?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it really was hard fought. I mean, it was a lot of three wide, a lot of passing, a lot of beating, banging. I mean, it was hard fought. Honestly, a lot of that was just strategy. I don't think I had anywhere near the second best car in this race. It just, I caught the cautions right and just luck of the draw decision. I mean, if we get another caution there, pretty much any time on that last run, the whole thing's doomed. So it's it's good to have a clean, consistent race, but a lot of it's just strategy and looking forward. Gotta continue to build and put clean, consistent races together.
And we saw how big that strategy was for you tonight, which really helped propel this team to a second place finish. Was there anything in particular about that long green flag run you think the car was maybe suited toward that, or was it all about following those who were succeeding to, of course, get a great result yourself?
Normally I would consider myself pretty good on long runs. I did not feel super great tonight. Something about the track, I could never figure out how to get through turn 1 and 2. So I really felt like I was burning more tire than everybody around me. That's why, getting off strategy there really wasn't the worst idea, because it kind of gave, more options to advance position later in the race. And fortunately, it all fell right.
And everything falls back in place again. Solid run to get the season going with a load of momentum into a much different track now. Circuit of the Americas, it's a road course here. Of course, we've seen them on the Ignite Series schedule before, but a completely different animal to tackle with a brand new track in Austin, Texas that this series has never seen yet. You think there's anything in particular that can help you out there, or is it all going to be learning it as it goes?
It's going to be learning it as it goes. I do not think it is crazy to say that I will not be talking to you next week, because I will not be finishing top 3. That one's almost a guarantee. Road courses are not my strength, so we'll see what happens. We're just hoping for a solid, clean top 10 would be great next week. That's kind of the goal headed into next week.
Good to keep the podiums, of course, just before road course. It's a little more of a predictable one, and we've seen success from you before, and tonight it's another podium finish here in Auto Club. Anyone else you'd like to thank after tonight's race?
Ryan and Sebi, Swamp Motorsports. Ryan was here tonight, and I think he was honestly faster than me. I mean, he was ahead of me on the same strategy, and I pitted right there on like lap 65, and he stayed out, and I went forward because of the tires, and he never caught another caution. So shout out to him, because he was having a great race, and he just got bit by the strategy bug. And I don't know exactly what happened to Sebi. I think he got crashed, but he was running pretty good too tonight. So shout out to all them, Swamp Motorsports, for taking on the challenge of this series and hoping to make the most of it.
Maximizing opportunity tonight with some strategy calls. DJ Stagner, you make your way back to the podium with a second place finish. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
DJ Stagner on the way. One more driver to speak to, the man who really had to climb from the bottom to the top and make do from 37th on the grid. And that's the big story for this team. From the back of the field up to third. Of course, we had some cautions along the way, but by no means was it easy, as Matthew Thunhorst, you returned to the podium for the first time in 2024.
Yeah, David. The worst thing was I made some good progress there up the front, and then my pit stall, moved. So I was looking for it up front, and then it's, wait, where's my box? And it's, oh no, it shifted. So that was fun to do it again. Yeah, I got lucky there with the cautions, just being able to, because it was funny, because I was talking to Bressy and Cody and them all at JTM, and they're like, let's pit early. I'm like, I want track position, but no. So I had the tires saved there, and it worked out, and that's really what helped a lot of that, because as soon as you have fresh tires, it's like, oh, make up 20 spots? Yeah, give me about 3 laps versus trying to do it organically. That's pretty much an entire run.
We saw how big the tires were for the drivers who were able to make those moves and push through. Track position was important in its own right, but those new tires, such a big deal tonight, especially when you needed to make those spots up fast. So what was it like dealing with the difference in tires? They looked to drive just about completely differently relative to how long you were on the tire set for.
Yeah, the tires definitely slowed down, and it definitely wasn't even easier. The fact that I literally woke up 5 minutes before the race and had one warm-up lap, and so I was completely out of my mojo, and just got fortunate that it was one of those, you try to pace yourself a little bit, but you're just like, oh hey, I can go with it. Oh no, I'm very tight. Oh no, here comes the wall. So it's, with the old tires, you really had to just try to hang on because I mean you knew everybody and their brother was coming if you didn't have them, even if it's like 10, 15 lap difference. So then to kind of be there at the end and have it to go the other way is, it's okay. I want to keep the tires on it, but it's like okay, we got to go because the guys are up there on the high side and just making all the ground. And Justin and DJ did a good job of that and getting out front. And and then once everybody kind of had equal tires up there, it's just hard to really make too much ground up. There was one lap I tried going to the high side and one of the corners and the thing just plowed the right front off of it. So it was really hard. And so it was one of those, you had to make the moves while you had the tires on and kind of while you had other guys in the way, kind of slow each other down. Because as you're coming back through the field, there was one or two times DJ caught me and I kind of got a little sneaky with a move and try to squeeze into spots. And I got lucky that it paid off. But it just wasn't enough to overcome the fact that, Justin was driving good, DJ was driving good. And it's just, even one or two lap older tires, just there's not much you could have done. Like I was hanging with DJ, but Justin was just off into the sunset.
Difference, while minimal, as you mentioned, so clear tonight with those tires. Either way, it's a podium here, a top 3 finish, nevertheless, and it's a big change with the road courses coming. We've seen how quick you and JTM have been before, but this is a whole new animal to the Ignite series, at least. Circuit of the Americas. That's what's up next for 30 laps next Monday. What do you think it's going to take to maybe look for another podium? Because we've seen your successes before.
Honestly, probably a good qualifying run to get out front, but the one thing that scares me is that turn 1 brake zone, how wild he gets down there. And watching how they do it in real life, I think a lot of it's just going to be trying to survive the pack until you can get away from them and trying not to just do yourself in. So, especially with these cars, they're so big and hefty that it's, oh, I'll slow down now. And then you just either start locking up the tires because you're just too hard on the brakes and you just slide through the zone, or you start getting the wheel hop and then you're just hanging on for dear life. So Coda's going to be really different. I wonder if we're going to continue to have like these big number fields, but for next week at least. But it's definitely going to be crazy. It's one of those you don't want to spin out because you're going to have to wait probably for about 10 seconds for the whole field to go by. So it's just going to be trying to manage mistakes there and stay within the race or your own race.
Manage mistakes next week. The strategy played off very well for a huge charge up. Matthew Thunhorst, podium finish tonight. Anyone else you'd like to shout out after this race?
Yeah, David, just everybody at the Ignite series and the Integrity series. It's just a whole, I'm looking forward to being able to do Atlanta next week. And, you and everybody else behind Fireball Talks that helps bring this to the fans, and just everybody else who, tunes in and watches. Hopefully we put on an entertaining one. And I don't have them in front of me, but if anyone sponsored this race, also thanks to them and helping to cover some of the costs of doing this. So, I would say normally see you next week, but I guess hopefully we'll see y'all back tomorrow, and we'll go with the unwieldy Gen 4s with way too much horsepower and try to tear it up at old Atlanta.
One of the few drivers doing the double, as you mentioned. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Matthew Thunhorst, it's a podium today. A good way to start the week. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David.
Matthew Thunhorst all on the move, just like that. Top 3. Getting it done. It's a fantastic drive from Thunhorst. The climb from 37th. And your front row finishes in the front row too. DJ Stagner second, and the rookie Justin Trombley collecting the checkered flag when all is said and done. What a race it was for the number 34, giving way to a first career victory. And it's big momentum heading into our next race next week at the Circuit of the Americas. Austin, Texas, gonna get wild, so be sure to stay tuned for 30 laps of hard-fought weight racing in Texas. We'd love to have you there. Once again, this has been exclusive coverage of the Integrity Ignite series at the virtual Auto Club Speedway. We thank you for watching all of tonight's event, as I've been commentator and producer David Kreutz. If you enjoyed tonight's presentation, be sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. It's always greatly appreciated, and we hope to see you whenever we're live again on FTN. We'll be back tomorrow with the Integrity Octane series, and back next Monday with the Ignite series as well. Thank you all for your immense support throughout this season and the early going, and hope you have a fantastic night.